We're going to need some coffee and some aspirin after this stinking hangover, bro. Huddle up.
You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel, and welcome to the men's department of Carolina basketball. And in this huddle, man, unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about the 75-66 loss that number 11 North Carolina just suffered down there in Miami to a pretty good Miami Hurricanes team, man. And I really think that this is a culmination of two things that we'll get into in just a second. But I do want to say this off the jump, okay? I saw a lot of the HD stuff going on. And whereas I do believe that there is some issues that you can take up with Coach, one thing that I'm not going to attribute to him is what I think is actually the biggest problem with this game, man, and it was the effort. Hubert Davis called a timeout, man, in the first, which we all know that he's kind of hung on to a lot of those, and he was absolutely livid at the effort and the execution of Carolina not boxing out and securing rebounds in the first half, dude. And there have been very few times where I've seen HD that stinking mad. Now, you guys know that I have 100% raised my own personal issues with some of the things that we've seen over these last couple of years. But the one thing that I'm not going to attribute to him in this one is a lack of stinking effort. Some people were talking about preparation. Some people were talking about, game plan and everything. I still think that there's cause for concern with the constant switching. Constantly we had Renew getting on guards, backing our guards down, getting easy buckets, man. We did a terrible job with the two-man game with Uday. He was getting just alley-oop after alley-oop. Henry Vasar kept stinking losing him, and that guy is too good athletically for you to not have a body on him every time he's in the paint. And, Carolina was just the best way to describe it, man. Hungover, dude. Hungover. I mean, flat-footed from the jump. And it's not that we didn't have opportunities in this game to take the lead, to go ahead. There were multiple times where Miami gave us a door. They left the door open, bro. And Carolina just wasn't focused enough. They weren't locked in enough. It was like they were stinking hungover, man. It was like they stinking spent, that Saturday night and the Sunday morning out there on Franklin Street. Maybe there was a little bit of partying going on, and they just hadn't stinking gotten over it yet, man. They were flat-footed. Man. Just weren't locked in. I think that's the best way to describe what we saw here, man. And I know that, the automatic guy to point to is going to be HD. And I just don't know how much you can attribute the effort thing to him in this one. We can talk about X's and O's. We can talk about defensively, how, once again, man, these teams that we're playing are just getting everything they want at the rim with us. And it's really surprising to me that we have these bigger guys that, for whatever reason, are not really enforcing or asserting themselves in the paint defensively. I was saying a couple of times, man, if I'm 7 foot, dude, and I got somebody who, does a step through or something, bro, I am trying to send that into the third row. Hell, I try to do that as a 5'7" point guard. I'm trying to time it, bro, and send it somewhere. But we're just not aggressive enough down there. I don't know if that's, coach just not wanting the guys to maybe pick up some fouls, get in foul trouble or nothing. But I feel like teams know, hey, we can go down there in the paint and they're going to let us have what we stinking want. They're going to let us have what they daggone want. I don't know, man. Like I said, bro, coffee and aspirin, please, dude, because, this stinking hangover is tough. Jaron Stevenson leads all scorers with 13. Went 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, had 6 boards. No assists, 1 turnover. when Jaren's leading you with 13 points, man, it's not going to be a stinking good night. Carolina only scores 26 points in the stinking second half. Caleb didn't have a very good left with an apparent injury to his hand. Finished with 12 and 6. I don't know really what was going on over there. No assist. He's usually been a guy that's given us some good assists, facilitating the ball. He had no assists, 2 turnovers. And Henry Faisar finishes with 11 and 6. We just did not get enough from the bigs. Game after, Seth Trimble hits the big shot, man. He finishes with 4. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. Derek Dixon, 1 of 9 from the floor. 0 of 6 from 3, finishes with 2 points and 20 minutes of burn. Yikes. It's just not going to cut it, man, from your backcourt, dude. 6 points total, dude, in 47 minutes of play. They finished 1 of 14, 0 of 9 from beyond the arc. Jonathan Powell got some minutes tonight. Finished with 5, and Kyan Evans was kind of hot early. And I think Coach took him out, man, and he never kind of regained that kind of heater that he was on, because I felt like he was feeling good. And it might have been a night, to play Kyan a little bit more. He got some more minutes, man. He finished with 19. But I think he just couldn't, he wasn't feeling it, into the second half like he was in the first, dude. And like I said, man, just top to bottom, Coach played 10 guys tonight, and they were flat. And I mean, you talk about a game that brings us back down to earth, man. Joe Lenardi had us as a 15th overall team, 4th seed, said, hey, they got to win this game to stay in that 4th seed kind of area. And this was a bad loss, bro. This was a bad loss, not just because of the outcome. It was a bad loss because of the effort. And, a lot of guys were kind of worried about this. We had talked about it pregame in the Discord with the Huddle hooligans and everything. And, I just kind of believe that we had enough. We had enough. Even with a little slight hangover. No, this was a full-blown hangover, bro. This isn't drinking a little bit too much from that Duke game. This is like way overdoing it, bro. Way overdoing it. And you could tell it in their body language. You could tell it just in almost every facet of their game, bro. They just didn't have it tonight. They just didn't have it tonight. Now, I'm pissed off. It is a huge letdown. I feel like our stinking spaceship just re-entered the stinking atmosphere, and we're hoping that the parachute comes open, to slow everything down, because a lot of people are already jumping off ship. I'm not going to do that. Look, no bones about it, bro. It's a bad loss, man. 19-5, 7-4 in the ACC. It's not a good loss, especially following the stinking Duke game. It's disappointing. You would expect the guys to maybe come out with a little bit more, passion and pride, considering what we just saw. But it's a tough loss, dude. It's a tough freaking loss, man. They're gonna have to pick up the pieces, dude, Saturday against a Pitt team that's going back and forth right now with the Dukies up there in Pittsburgh. So, you guys let me know what you think about this game down in the comments section, man. It's disappointing as hell, bro. It's disappointing as hell. And, maybe we'll have some humble pie with the daggone coffee and aspirin the next morning. But got to pick up the pieces, man. Hopefully it's a learning lesson and we can move on to Pitt. Because we've got some work to do after that one. So like I said, man, let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. Tar Heel Nation, it is still a great day to be a Tar Heel. Like, share, and subscribe to the daggum channel. And as we always do, man, we get out of here. Go to hell, Duke. And go to hell, State. Head hurts already, bro.